The lights are already hot when the message reaches him. Backstage, seconds before walking out, Prince hears the phrase that always changes the temperature of a room: "Tone it down." According to accounts from people present, it comes from production staff worried about volume, timing, control. The anchor detail is the warning itself, delivered near the side of the stage, just feet from the guitar stand, waiting under the lights. Prince pauses with one hand on the instrument. The venue hums beyond the curtain. This is the moment frozen in hindsight, when restraint is suggested and defiance is measured. The guitar is strapped on anyway. Prince steps into the light. The anchor detail is the object that will decide everything. A solid body electric guitar already tuned louder than recommended. The stakes are immediate. Too much volume could anger promoters, breach broadcast rules, alienate venue management. Too little could betray the very reason people are here. Prince scans the crowd once, not searching for approval, but confirming presence. The band waits behind him, eyes locked. The warning still echoes: "Tone it down." Days earlier, the rules had been clear. The anchor detail shifts to rehearsal rooms and meeting spaces where sound limits were discussed like law. Engineers talk decibel caps, managers talk pacing. This is an era where black artists are expected to electrify without overwhelming, to excite without threatening the structure around them. Prince listens in silence during these conversations, fingers resting on the neck of the guitar, even when it isn't plugged in. According to insiders, he nods, says little, lets others believe the message has landed. The world he's moving through is tight with expectations. The anchor detail is the venue itself, a room designed for spectacle but governed by policy. Sound checks are timed, lighting cues are locked. Every minute is accounted for. Prince is already known for pushing boundaries, and that reputation follows him into every planning session. People speak carefully around him, choosing words like balance and control instead of restriction. The phrase "tone it down" hangs heavier because it pretends to be neutral. At rehearsal, the tension sharpens. The anchor detail is a single run-through where Prince plays softer than usual. The band notices immediately. Drums pull back, keys sit lower in the mix, engineers relax. Some insiders reportedly thought the message had worked. Prince gives no sign either way. He ends rehearsal without comment, sets the guitar on its stand, and leaves the room before questions can form. Silence becomes its own signal. The night of the show arrives fast. The anchor detail returns to the stage layout, amplifiers positioned just so, monitors angled toward Prince's feet, the guitar tech waiting with spare strings. Backstage chatter grows nervous. There's a sense that this performance matters more than most. The phrase "tone it down" circulates again, quieter now, like a superstition people don't want to trigger. When Prince stands in the wings, listening to the crowd, the stakes crystallize. This isn't just about volume, it's about authorship. Who decides how much of him the room can handle? The anchor detail is the curtain itself, separating instruction from execution. Prince reaches for the guitar. The weight of it is familiar. The decision has already been made, even if no one else knows it yet. He steps on stage and opens with restraint. The anchor detail is the first song, played clean, controlled, almost polite. The crowd responds warmly. Applause rolls in waves. Somewhere off stage, relief spreads. The warning seems honored. Prince moves through the set with precision, each song placed carefully, like he's building trust. But under that control, something accumulates. Midway through the performance, Prince approaches the center microphone. The anchor detail is his foot hovering near a pedal, the kind that changes everything with a single press. He looks toward the band, makes brief eye contact, no words. According to witnesses, this is where the air shifts. The earlier warning returns, not as sound, but as pressure. Tone it down, or do what you came to do. Prince's hand tightens on the guitar neck. The crowd quiets, sensing a change they can't yet name. The anchor detail is the pause itself, stretched just long enough to feel intentional. Whatever comes next will answer the warning. The venue, the rules, the people who asked for restraint, all of it waits in that suspended second. The next movement begins the moment Prince's foot finally comes down. The anchor detail is the pedal click, barely audible but decisive, sending the guitar's signal into a different register. The sound thickens, not yet explosive but undeniably fuller. The band responds in real time. The drummer leans harder into the snare. The bass locks in deeper. This isn't rebellion yet, it's calibration. Prince is measuring the room's tolerance second by second. That night, the venue feels smaller. The anchor detail is the front row leaning forward as Prince stretches a solo longer than planned. Engineers glance at their meters. Nothing's peaking yet, but the line is closer than agreed. According to accounts, a stage manager signals toward the sound booth, a subtle reminder of the earlier instruction to tone it down. Prince doesn't look back. He's facing the crowd, eyes closed, letting the guitar speak in place of words. At the end of the song, applause hits harder than before. The anchor detail is the sustained cheering, louder than the amplified sound itself. Prince steps back, nods once, and moves into the next track. The set list order begins to loosen. Songs blur into each other. Transitions stretch. This is escalation by accumulation, not a single act, but a series of choices that all lean in the same direction. Between songs, Prince doesn't speak. The anchor detail is the silence between notes, unusually long, making the crowd hold its breath. Someone off stage reportedly mouths the phrase again, "Tone it down," more anxious now. The words never reach him, or they do, and he absorbs them without acknowledgement. His focus stays on the guitar, fingers moving with increasing intensity. The next solo arrives earlier than expected. The anchor detail is the bend on a high string, pushed just past comfort, the note crying out instead of settling. The volume creeps higher, monitors hum, the room vibrates. This is no longer within rehearsal parameters. Prince steps closer to the edge of the stage, closing the distance between instrument and audience. The stakes sharpen. If this crosses the line, there will be consequences: cut power, angry promoters, future restrictions. According to some insiders, a decision point forms in the sound booth. Levels can be pulled back remotely. The anchor detail is a hand hovering over a fader, the power to enforce the warning with one motion. But the crowd's reaction complicates everything. People are on their feet now. The sound isn't just loud, it's focused, intentional, thrilling. Turning it down risks killing the moment entirely. Prince senses the shift. The anchor detail is his posture changing, shoulders squaring as he digs into the rhythm. He walks toward the amplifier, deliberately positioning himself so the guitar feeds back slightly. The sound blooms. This isn't accidental, it's controlled chaos, shaped by years of mastery. He's not ignoring the rules, he's redefining which ones matter. Another song ends, but Prince doesn't move to the microphone. The anchor detail is the band holding a sustained chord, waiting. He raises one finger, signaling them to stay. The crowd roars louder, feeding off the tension. This is the point where restraint could still be restored. He could step back, dial it down, finish the set clean. The warning still technically stands. Instead, Prince steps onto a riser near the front of the stage. The anchor detail is the physical elevation, small but symbolic. He's placing himself above the negotiation. The guitar hangs low, angled toward the crowd. He hits a single note and lets it ring.
The venue answers with a collective shout. The sound fills every corner, bouncing off walls designed to contain, but now overwhelmed. Behind the scenes, concern turns to disbelief. According to accounts, staff exchange looks that say this is beyond control, yet no one intervenes. The anchor detail is the absence of interruption. The system hesitates, unsure whether to stop a problem or witness a moment. Prince launches into what will become the centerpiece of the night. The anchor detail is the riff itself, louder, sharper, unmistakably his. The band locks in instantly. This is no jam gone wild, it's precision amplified. The earlier instruction to tone it down now feels almost irrelevant, like advice given before understanding the stakes. The crowd's reaction is physical. The anchor detail is the floor vibrating under collective movement, feet stomping in time. The venue begins to shake, not structurally collapsing, but alive with sound and motion. Prince moves with the music, hair catching the light, guitar screaming in controlled arcs. Every note pushes further from compliance and closer to declaration. As the solo builds, Prince walks toward the center microphone at last. The anchor detail is his proximity to it, close enough to speak, but he doesn't. He lets the guitar finish the sentence. This is the brink. Whatever comes next will fully answer the warning issued backstage. Tone it down or show them why you never could.
The detonation comes without announcement. The anchor detail is the first strike of the final solo, louder than anything that came before, a deliberate crossing of the line that had been drawn backstage. Prince doesn't look at the sound booth, doesn't glance at the monitors. He locks eyes with the guitar neck and lets the note rip, sustained far beyond what the room was designed to hold. The venue responds instantly. The sound doesn't just travel, it presses, vibrating through seats, railings, and chests. The reaction is visible. The anchor detail is the crowd surging forward, arms raised, people shouting words that disappear under the volume. Prince leans back, riding the feedback, shaping it with micro-movements of his hands. This is the exact moment the instruction to tone it down collapses. Not argued with, not debated, overwritten. According to accounts, the sound engineers stop trying to restrain the levels. The anchor detail is the frozen faders, left where they are as the music swells. Cutting the power now would cause chaos. Prince senses the surrender. He steps forward again, closer to the edge, guitar angled outward like a declaration. Each phrase builds on the last, a conversation conducted entirely through strings and amplification. The band follows with absolute trust. The anchor detail is the drummer smashing the crash cymbal harder than at any other point in the set, the bass thickening underneath. This isn't rebellion against them, it's unity in escalation. The music becomes heavier, denser, unapologetic. The venue shakes, not from volume alone, but from intent. Prince finally turns toward the microphone. The anchor detail is his mouth close enough for breath to be heard. For a second, it seems like he might speak, explain, justify. He doesn't. He pulls back and answers with another run, faster now, fingers blurring. The message is unmistakable. This is why he was told to tone it down. This is why he never would. The solo peaks. The anchor detail is the final bend, pushed so high it nearly breaks, then released into a cascading descent. Prince drops to one knee as the note resolves. The crowd erupts. The sound crashes back at him in waves of applause and screams. The moment has passed, but its impact lingers, ringing in ears and bones. The song ends abruptly. The anchor detail is the sudden silence, deafening after the assault of sound. Prince stands, lets the guitar hang, and scans the room. He gives a small nod. No speech, no explanation. The band exits as the crowd continues to roar, demanding more.
Backstage, the atmosphere is stunned. The anchor detail is the same warning that had been issued hours earlier, now meaningless in hindsight. According to some insiders, there's laughter mixed with disbelief. Others are shaken, aware they've just witnessed a line being redrawn. Prince walks past without comment, guitar still strapped on, sweat-soaked and calm. The aftermath arrives quickly. The anchor detail is the next morning's conversations, promoters and staff replaying the moment when control slipped away. Some call it reckless, others call it transcendent. What's agreed upon is simpler. The venue will be remembered for shaking that night, not for enforcing restraint. In the days that follow, the story spreads. The anchor detail is the phrase "tone it down," repeated in retellings, always followed by what Prince did instead. Fans talk about the volume, but more about the feeling, the sense that they were inside something alive. Critics frame it as excess or genius, depending on where they stood in the room. Prince never publicly addresses the incident. The anchor detail is his silence afterward, consistent with the silence before the solo. The explanation was already delivered on stage. He doesn't clarify because clarity would reduce it. The point wasn't disobedience for its own sake, it was authorship. The meaning settles with time. The anchor detail is the realization that "tone it down" was never about sound levels alone. It was about containment, about fitting an artist into a space that felt safer, quieter, more manageable. Prince's response wasn't louder volume just to defy authority. It was a demonstration that some voices lose their meaning when softened. You can still hear echoes of that night in later performances. The anchor detail is the way Prince would let moments stretch, daring rooms to keep up. He didn't always play that loud again, but he always played on his own terms. The warning had taught him something useful, where the edges were. In the end, the venue didn't break. The anchor detail is that it survived structurally, even if its rules didn't. What shattered was the assumption that brilliance could be moderated without cost. Prince left behind a lesson carved into sound. When told to tone it down, you find out whether the room is built for truth.